Oh my God, people, this episode, oh man, this is why I watch Gundam. This is why I love Gundam. This episode dropped so many bombs. Bombs out of nowhere. I mean, this review is probably going to be all over the place, and I'm getting all the hype out now because there is so much that I want to dive into with the things that we learned. Hype. Ladies and gents, let's just take a moment to allow me to do two things. One, let me do a bit of a fanboy / hype charge. Second, let me vent a bit. Okay, now that's out the way. Let's get to the vent part, because I was wrong. I hate being wrong, but I was wrong. And I was completely wrong about Farid. Oh, man. I mean, you guys were telling me. I still held that little bit of hope that he wouldn't be what we thought he was, and he turned out to be what we thought he was. This guy just went tyrant mode. He went straight up tyrant mode, full tyrant mode, and you know when you go tyrant mode, you're gonna die. And when he dies, there's gonna be that little flashback of him talking about how he grew up and how he was alone and everything like that, even though he probably just killed like a legion of people. And I really didn't want them to go that route with this character. I'm not saying I didn't like it either, but it was just so predictable, and I didn't want them to go that route with this character, but it was still good nonetheless, because this episode, we got to see the true McGillis Farid in all his splendor, and found out, and this is no surprise to any of us, we found out that this was all been a part of his plan for so long, but how he interpreted the teachings of Agnika, it twisted him even more to what he was already, because he had a very hard upbringing, and again, this is stuff that we knew already, but we finally got to see it all in this episode, because yeah, he had a rough upbringing. Bordering, of course, was raping him, and he just decided to say, you know what, I'm gonna take the power from within. I'm gonna start from the bottom, work my way all the way up to the top, and I'm gonna wear this mask that I'm this good guy all along. And the biggest thing in this episode kind of leaves you wondering who's wrong in this, because we get to see more of the relationship between Vidar, who is now being exposed as Galeo. I mean, of course, we knew that already, but it's been shown to everybody that he is Vidar. And we see the relationship that he had between himself and McGillis. Guys, this is going to be a long video. This is going to be a while. So thank you in advance for watching it all, because I don't know how long this is going to be. It's just so much to take in, because the hype thing that I had to do at the beginning of the episode, that's because this episode was so good. Easily one of the best episodes in the series. The reveals in this episode was just off the charts. I mean, the resurrection of Agnika Kaeru in the embodiment of Farid. That's been his plan all along. And Iron-Blooded Orphans, I mean, one thing that we can say, judging by the turn that this episode took, that we were all like, you know, speculating and talking about this season or this series continuing, it probably won't to the point that they got right now, because we pretty much ended the episode with a guy in a mobile suit basically saying maniacally that I am the embodiment, I am the spirit of Agnika, and everybody's just gonna bow down to me. And speaking of bow down, let's go ahead and bow down to the god Gundam Bael being introduced this week, being piloted by Farid. Of course, it looks beast. I cannot wait to get it in my hands myself. That thing looks beastly, but this mobile suit is actually the spirit or the soul of Agnika. For anybody that possesses it, basically, and no one's really denying it. Everybody's kind of looking like, well, if you get this suit, then you have the right to be everything that you say you were gonna be. But to see that Farid just went so maniacal with taking over Galahorn, it was kind of a sudden twist, but it's not a twist that I'm mad at either. I mean, God, this just the conversation that he had with Galeo, I mean, it's leaving me at odds right now. Like, who's wrong? Nobody's really wrong in this, because we never debated that Galeo has every right to want revenge on what Farid for what he did, and we got a little bit more insight on it, is that he was always game for what Farid wanted to do. He was saying, you know, you used to confide in me. You used to show me your true self. Yeah, you used to put on this mask that you were this charismatic, happy guy, but I knew the real you. I knew that you wanted to take the corruption down from within, the flaws within Galahorn, and I would have been there with you. Me and Carter would have been there with you. We had your side, but we saw you as a friend. You didn't see us as that. All you saw was basically our names getting you up to your importance. And that is why Galeo's so hurt. And you have to basically agree with him on that. it's like he would have been down. If Farid wanted to take over Gjallarhorn, he was with him all the way. But all he needed was his sister's name in marriage. So he was just another card to issue. That was just a seat to empty for the 7 stars. He could have went about this a lot differently. So now it makes you look at Galeo like, shit, wait a minute. Vidar is actually the good guy in this because, yes, Farid had a hard upbringing. He was sexually abused by Galeo's father, the piece of scum. He needs to die, but for doing that, yes, he was bullied. He was beaten up. He had a hard life, but he decided once he found the teachings of Agnika that I'm just going to take myself and build upon that. I'm going to make myself stronger, smarter, faster, excel in everything so I can become up top. And Galeo mentioned that you didn't care about us. We had your back. You didn't care about us about friends. Only thing you cared about was things that you can convert into power. You took the teachings of Agnika, brute force, authority, all those things that you learned. Those are things that you can convert into power. That's all you cared about. You converted our titles into power. That's why I want to kill you. And I cannot deny that Galeo is right. You can't really deny that Farid is right too, because, you know, Gjallarhorn is corrupt. He wants to clean him out. But again, he just went straight up maniacal bad guy form in this episode. But I do want to commend that how Farid has successfully went through all the stages of Char Aznable in this series. We got the tried and true Char Aznable that we were first introduced to in 0079. We got the Quattro Bagina Char, with him basically taking Tekkadan under his wing, even if it was for his machinations. And we now, at this point, have the Char from Char's Counterattack in the embodiment of Farid, of him wanting to rule completely with brute force, standing in his Gundam saying that everybody should now bow before me, that I'm in this suit. Follow me, let me take you back to the true way. And if anybody got anything to say about it, well, let's get these hands. I mean, wow, people, this episode just blew my mind. I mean, I took a second to actually, you know, gather my thoughts because I knew this was going to be a long video. I know you guys are ready for the hype. The hype is still here. It's just that it was so much to dive into, so much that I want to talk about, because let's try to break this down in stages. First and foremost, again, we see that for the most part, Farid is using Tekkadan. He's completely using them. He has the strongest weapon on the field in Mikazuki in his disposal as a tool, and he's going to use them as a weapon to shed out the corruption that he sees fit. And Vidar found that out right away. Vidar is like, well, you know, this is what happened. I want to fight you. And then Farid's like, oh yeah? Farid, I'm sorry. He's like, oh yeah? Well, you got to get past Barbados first. Oh yeah, you can kill him too. Go right ahead, because Mikazuki's like, oh, here he is. I remember this guy. Can I kill him? He's like, yeah, why not? So he knows that these kids would do anything to become the king of Mars. And he's using them like everybody else. He's just being so sly about it that he's using them to a different type. And I hope that Orga wises up. And I think that Galeo is probably noble enough to at least try to tell Orga what's going on. Because at this point, I don't think Mikazuki even wants to hear what he has to say. He got the kill order, so he's going to go ahead and fight. But Farid, all this time, I mean, just basically using everybody. And again, I didn't want to see him go down this route. I really did want him to kind of be the good guy. I was hoping for more of a bigger threat than this guy just going crazy and everybody decided to take him down. But I think Tekkadan's probably gonna turn their blade to him, because they're the bad guys now with him as well, because all everybody else sees is just this guy talking crazy with his suit. And maybe we'll get more insight to it next week, but everybody seems kind of shocked, but at the same time accepting that he is within the Bael. So with Eok, this crusty fuck is in house arrest, so he can't do anything, and all of his people are now under Rustal, who are fighting for their lives. I mean, Farid pretty much put a raid order out on these guys. Like anybody in the 7 stars, he's arresting, he's apprehending suits. So now Rustal is just like, well, I have to fight back with everything I have, because right now this war is coming for me and I am going to fight back. So where does that leave Tekkadan? Because Tekkadan now going to have a target on them as well, because if everybody decides that Farid is now went completely batshit crazy, that's going to put Tekkadan in the eyesights too. And they've already seen that they're facing double of what they have as far as a fleet. So when the battle finally does go down, things aren't going to go good. It's going to be some losses. We got Vidar, and that was the biggest thing as well with Vidar, with it being revealed that it is actually a fusion between Ain's brain, which allows him to take control of Galeo's body, thus making Vidar on par with the Barbados Lupus, because with the AB system hooked in, with it using Ain's brain from what they did with that last experiment with him, and allowing him to take over his body to fight to his heart's content, it can completely open up the system, making Vidar on equal footing with the Barbados Lupus. And you guys are really good at letting me know about these things when I miss out, and maybe they didn't expand on it, maybe I'm not explaining it completely, maybe they'll go into it more next week. But Fareed said that with the research that I found out between yourself and Ayn, and seeing that you two are basically fused to make Vidar, it allowed me to get this goal. So with him saying that this suit, the Bael, is the soul of Agnika, does that mean that maybe Agnika's brain was used like how Ain's is being used right now with Galeo, and he's gonna, once he completely jacks into it, he will basically get taken over, just like Ain's getting taken over by, well, I'm sorry, while Galeo's getting taken over by Ayn right now? That's going to be interesting. It's going to be interesting to see where that goes. And also, it's the same thing being done with the Barbados. I mean, of course, it's not with Mikazuki, but if there's any other mobile suits out there, how far can this research go? I mean, it definitely has legs if they can just take somebody, make them the brain, and hook them into the perfect system. Wow. That is amazing. Clap it up for Gundam. I mean, this is why we're here every day. We're here to think. We're here to theory craft. I just got to eat that L of being wrong about Fareed, because I really wanted him to be an ally. I really did. But he has so much Char Asimbo in him. I mean, there's other Gundam clones out there, of course. The closest would be Zex Marquise, but he is full-blown Char. And again, I have to commend them for him going through all the stages that Char went through, because at the very end with Char's counterattack, he ended up being a villain. So we see the same thing now with Fareed. Man, I'm gonna miss this series. I mean, I know we still got like 8 or 9 episodes. I think it's gonna go up to 51, but it just feels like we're leaving, because it's not too much more they can do after this, unless, I don't know, he has a change of heart, which I don't see, because again, when you go full maniacal, the only thing left for you to do is to die. But some waves of people are going to be taken out with him using the Barbados as a lapdog. I mean, again, when Vidar confronted him, Barbados jumped down and he was just like sick on Mikazuki, and he's like, oh yeah, I just want to fight. I remember you. Let's fight back. I remember you from back during Edmonton, so let's go. Well, he doesn't remember Galeo from Edmonton, but he does remember that fighting style that the Vidar had with it being in Ayn. And that was a little bit of a rougher fight than he wanted, so I'm pretty sure he wants his revenge on that. But where does everything stand from here? And I'm really worried about the Tekadon boys, because they just lost the turbines in a similar type of thing, and now they're going to be pinned as the bad guys in this for following this psychopath that Fareed has always been. And it was interesting to see his upbringing, and the iron-blooded Orphans monkey also fits to him as well, because, you know, he was a street rat. He was out there on the street before he was taken in, and he was even being abused and possibly sexually abused in this orphanage or wherever he was being held at first, before he was called up to be the heir of the Fareeds. And then, man, just to see him in bed with Baldwin, I was actually glad that Baldwin got arrested, and he got his revenge on him by taking him in. And he was like, don't worry, I'll make sure nothing happens to your daughter, because that's going to be my wife, because I need that for power. But I just didn't expect him to look at that book from Agnika and basically turn it to a twisted way. He's had this mask all this time, but really he's just been kind of a demon inside, just waiting to rise up at the right moment. And now Fareed has essentially gotten everything that he's wanted. He has everything now. He has a suit that's going to be wickedly powerful. At least I hope it will, because they put a lot of hype on this suit. And I wonder if Orga's going to get out there now, because remember, Orga has a suit as well. And Mikazuki's really against Orga going out there, but he might have to at this point, because if all those guns turn to Tekadon, then all hands are going to be on deck. Either way, I just know I cannot wait for next week. Man, this episode, this was a hype episode. It really was, but this was also a very psychological episode as well. To see that relationship between Galeo and Ayn, and Fareed, actually. You could throw Ayn in this, because Ayn is basically being used as the embodiment for Vidar. The whole thing is embodiment, because with the Agnika's resurrection, per se, through this suit. I don't know where we can go from here. All I know is I want to see the Barbados go in a little bit more because that suit is badass. And I hope that they can reach Tekkadan and basically say, look, this guy's wrong. Help us or it's going to be the end of it. Because I don't know where we can go from here. I mean, we got a couple of episodes, so we still got some legs for them to take down Farid unless he like wipes everybody and then builds an army. But I still got a feeling there's some mobile suits out there, or mobile suits out there, or at the very least I feel that there's still some mobile armors out there, because now that Julieta knows what happened with Ayn, remember that one girl was trying to tell her that you need to do the same thing, because how come he became so powerful is what he just did. So there's still room for her doing that as well. She still has a part to play. It's still some loose ends out there. It's not like it's the finale yet. There's still room for possibly one more threat, but the fact that Farid has rised up so quickly to the point that he is right now, that has to be the end game, is to stop him. It's just a matter of how far they're going to do it, and when is Tekkadan going to rise up and find out this might not be the way. We don't know who's wrong in this, because this episode, if anything, kind of made me like 80% Galeo, because look what happened. He put his trust into this guy. Now we see it was more than just blind trust. It was like, I really did want to be on your side. You told me your plan. You used to confide in me. And then you stabbed me in the back. He owes his revenge. So if he went down by Vidar, I wouldn't be mad about that. But come on, we know the final battle is going to be Mikazuki versus the Chocolate Man versus the Char clone versus the god right now, McGillis Farid, in that godly Suit Bael. So guys, let me know what you thought of the other episode. Again, I'm sorry that I was all over the place with this one. It was just so much to take in, so much hype, especially with the whole focal point of the episode with Farid being the symbol of Galahorn now. He is Galahorn. He is the spirit and the embodiment of the Calamity War. So we'll just have to see where it goes from here. So guys, if you like this video, go ahead and drop it a like. And if you want to hear more, go ahead and hit that subscribe button, as there's not shortage of content that you guys indulge on this channel. And as I always say, you guys can be anywhere on YouTube right now. You chose to listen to me. I really appreciate that. So thanks for stopping by. On that note, it's your boy Scott signing out. See you soon.